Franklin, Wadaruma. Oma Mayati say gold price on the world market, this is the best time to bring up this Agyapa deal because I don't know.
You see, again, this is one of those lies. The fact of the matter is, I am passing gold prices are going high. I go high, no. Yanya $120 million a year. Yabenya ebeko high cry. Yabenya maybe $150 million a year. Now, person will turn. Shanka say Brian more than $150 million a year. Now, be mami $10 million a year. Ubeji $1 billion. Now, mami $10 million a year forever. Ayadipa. And I now make a choice. Say, if you look at the report, we've come through the entire world and we found out that gold experts, Omoka say yes. Price no, ebeko high, ebeko $2,400. Eya di papa osha say we asumuko people invest in gold. The banking crisis osha and kofoba invest in gold. Corona buy. Why is gold doing well than other stocks? Because it's a safer security. Oh, and nuntina esa ohunya dream be say and the gold price beko high there. Make akoye deal idie. And they say the faso ebe dosun chen ye mi nya sosiano ebreye na wakoya kanana ukoji 500 million uboti $40 million among crofobisa omun 500 million mouse sia ade adukoya so ye hu afu be catch me say memo 10% 20% of what value? Those are the questions we need to ask. Media nya me hini kra ne say omo person mo ka say yenti economics ase and as yenti deal na ase a deal papa anka aden na publishing one paper, one policy paper behind this deal. They've not published it. Chief Jerry, this deal was thought about in 2019 November. They started negotiation with the Attorney General in January 2019. Usha letters na abebi no ube say Attorney General no craso no struggle wabisa we ewahin na almost okay the beba almost the beba no more control be being kuntain no more the aba now I say debut edi with the enye o now saba almost use one day. Well, eventually the Attorney General felt so this tired and I say okay and yeah but the money but me mamu approval no niama bi wo ho mo esa mo ye underwriters as we speak right now insurance we don't even know who the insurance people are. Media mean person meka obi a see friend is saying nepotism and as a nipana the senior ministers bano and no crapo there is the least of our worries but no crapo so me hint to the extent say omo person mo catch say they use the best process in the world to go for the Ghanaian that they wanted and all of a sudden the chief financial officer of Danko State Cement who they employed to go and look for shortlist people from our Ghanaians around the world did it so well that he published all the processes and settled on Osafo Mafu son. I don't have a problem with Osafo Mafu's son. I think he's a smart guy. But I think he's lending himself into a system
Franklin,
that
bravo.
Yeah, me can say, other film catch say, oh, yan bomb abaso na, bomodin pa na, share no, nipa obe share nyama we so nipa no wa bimpa. And I money can say, yan fire nipa na being some being here. We don't care. In fact, we think it's even better to look for a Ghanaian. But bisa say you're competitive. You publish BB. BB say you show B. Okay. Maybe you cry chief will be our Australia or you are being chen nipa na yanyano. Yahu BB me can also see deal way abrofo ya omadia omoya amodia. The before ya copy scare from they do their things properly. Look, deal way yan tie BB ya maybe kaka say yan policy paper be I show say this is the reason that behind the thing. There's no published paper. There's no PR mechanism to show how they are going. That's how they are struggling to defend it. In any New York Stock Exchange, Obroni Belisti BB was stock exchanger. They do all this work. They do PR. They invest in PR. Coca-Cola. The papa. So on the day they will launch it at the New York Stock Exchange, everybody knows about the value. Everybody knows about it. Intina can say maybe they started this thing nicodemously before they brought it to Parliament. Because they cannot. Stock exchanges, they take at least 12 months to be able to do all of this and guys before they will list. Would you catch 3-4 months ago? What's it called? You are telling us in August, in December, you say you want to list. By December 31st, you want to list. You want to use 4 months to list this so-called complex arrangement where there's been no paper published, no PR plan published. In fact, there's no underwriters. I mean, who does that?
Okay.
I'll be ashamed if the president signs this deal. Anyway, it's been a deal anyway. It's a done deal because the approval was done somewhere. Cabinet approved it in March 2020. It's shameful, Chief. It's really shameful. I mean, look, some of the guys talking are my good friends, and I've told them that they should back off this deal because it's so. Look, what they are doing is to disgrace the government entirely. I don't know if they realize that.
Okay.
But to make it look as if say, don't believe any of the story. Anything you read from that paper, we have counter what's it called?
Okay.
And I'm telling you that this deal is the deal made in hell.
Okay.
Ghanaians should reject
Franklin, fortunately, me were Ora Sampine, studio. Imagine a quick reaction of him. We are Masamba Honafi, my major coin. Ora Sampine, the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NPP. Over Akaba. I want to why come on so?
Oh, Yamina.
What was that? Was looking command me, Ora Franklin Cudjoe, after train. So, let's just say, I quite say, Agyapa Royalties, a bon cry, Nadia, a bad boy, my Ghana.
Chief, am I in Chiawa Shenara? A been sweet here or Asampa, Timobiachi, and Yamina didn't so a chain in the Bibia and Yanisa. Minia, Ghana, higher war. A Kamiako, yes, say. Nipakuo binum ayo imagine say omantu anamo biara especially MPP abanwe etu anamo biara ese ye hwe ekohunu se benya bibi bone ewo ho wote nchen me ye me nkwan mesimi wo kobi emane ene nantwenam nam de ye wunni me jade hobi wo se me di prakontwere ene akokɔ na ye me ba be kire omu se when I'm the Yemen Quinoa, what's in Yanokre? Minerals Income Investment Fund.
Yes.
Any funder, a manager Ghana, mineral resources. Woman Eddie, woman no disem, abetuja. Meboa. And some Franklin Mokanyana, Woma Beyano. Woma catch them the assembno etie. Nukra, a woman. What's one only dear or Canada obwa? When you say, we said the decision, Eshasi said Tamano Musi Royalty, a Japan non friend as Royalty.
Yes.
One link to a radio station. And almost him, Crofona radio near Omudiantino. We say you are Omube Viagan Sika, and a Ghana Nema. Meanwhile, Jumedio Mudino, a buying and time Sika and Cudjoe Bika. Would ye, we share documentation and one narrative now. Chiremi baby a buying at a brigand sika and the Akosia war. When I'm what gauge Ghana sika. Mamma, one example.
Me too.
Tama, President Kufo, Eko China, Ako Pesika, near their Bayer Breedam. Ye leverage ye cocoa. Similar comments and then Krofokai. Similar comments. Wamukayeno, eventually no, assemble na ne wom. No woma dwena no mususu no na entisa Ghana nya ho faso a na ye de boa yen energy sector no a ye electricity amaye ye see ye resources ade no emrada ho Ghana parliament eno wati kru no ya ye emra actor e moderate sa fund no ye yin krofo a wo mo na behwe so. Now, when Frank Maker, what kind of position of government on membership of the board? What's in Yanukre? And Yanukre saying, and you're buying a majority shares. One more annual general meeting, no, I'm so unbayano, and no, it take decisions on board members, Meboa. It take a decision on how the company is run, it take decisions on how the fund is managed. It is a one for buying a year of mine, a dim rat tree. I set up this company. A dear may fish. Because they started by looking at individuals. And Fantino, they go fishing.
Okay, but Utie Franklin, as someone can just say, say about the 40 million, and they back pay 10 million dividend, and to him, no.
Asemba near ka near ye be free moi and yet. One casa chief, what kind, which no distribution of income?
Yes.
Which the percentages are a beba. What's it, young Kessica Potini and Shano? Do you know how much we can earn every year? Even with the current situation, Omuka say a few years, the last year, $150 million. No, last 2 years was more than that. So it fluctuates. And can you bet me this car? Ashano. Into your model scenario. Young who is uncertainties were all. Young can we say in our move. Any of the account. Nipa no call market no or call stock exchange no so or competitor ho the abaya can say sika bia mo benya ne mrese no mon kan mom say emfa me yede or see this kind of no kra yanka investment fund mineral investment fund the sika no ye den wo Ghana
but enyango say attorney general kra no ase sa deal
attorney general kra no ase sa deal mini we bia kan ko see
won faso papa
the letter the final letter no den kan den the proposal the bar finally no can den
say na asa watwe baby aban gina no gina nti na de nyamba sam we no
the final letter no any other subsequent letters no when they access One more castle, I'm doing the first letter. I'm saying lead. I'm saying BB, but 14 team be more can one. Apart from that, other discussions on my year, and no more options on my share, and no opinions on my because sabi about emremwa. Nyansa ni ni papa kufo etu. They be a me as lawyer A no, me hunu no. E be a lawyer B C Z. One be hunu differently. One me na kaboma. It may change the narrative from point A into new point Z no. Na narrative no. Na assessment. Into adena the final discussions and that narrative no and no the young person can want them. Into what we stand one more can we okay we studio her electoral commission can say obituary similar argument omuko bokro no omuko wiesika eventually there was nothing like that. Into adena any pe motive say there be an every single deal the bottom line is say kronungo. When you have no evidence to show. Stock exchange, we call now collector, international operations no cost every day. So gold prices say, na stocks no cost say, and na tiba from say. One Wall Stock exchange, Wall Street na for London stock market na for ni nyina publicize. We have the benefit of even TV. CNN na for BBC nom, our mo publicizes are enema we say nyina. Into Sabia Ghana, your investment say be $1 billion now. When power your individual, not person track here, you can easily track it. Into we should not start by saying say investment, you know. Now me feel senka, your body can be say who say, Juma dear no I see Agyapa Royalties and me amount mine and minerals income investment fund no. Sa Juma dear no. Is it the benefit of Ghana? And I say, okay. But if you are unable to establish that, now would you to say, one more idea so let's go to the bottom. Let's look at a nema efata. Nianka, but to go on tangentials. Near Kofa way, Ned we have the boom, near can we say the frankly or Kofa way, no can boom, na yam potom poto. What yam potom poto at Biano, and yet the be.
Okay, but I say, Franklin, my major quick reaction from your side. As per the Ora Sampine, there are two justices here. Quickly, Franklin.
Yo, let us say, but Ora Sampine, what kind of contract you know?
What's my kind of contract? My kind. Mahumi document be.
I submit to you that you haven't read it.
Now, me a box move. They are not interrogating me. What's them?
No, I'm just telling you that you haven't read a word of it because Nyo Kaninano is just obita outside commentary. You see, the point we are making is not to say that somebody has stolen money. We are not saying so be a Yesika.
We are not saying that. What we were saying, everybody listened.
No,
the substance of it one is said, be born in womb.
But I said this deal was made in hell.
Of course, and I'm saying to the end of the woman.
Franklin, my intel.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Sampai has not said a word to show whether the thing is valuable or not.
That's your opinion.
And Acrophobia Coca BB said, and a deal, yeah. He doesn't even know the market capitalization of the deal. It is 1 billion. And we are saying, say, 1 billion now also back at current gold prices. You are already getting close to $130 million a year. They be on $130 million. Now, dividend now I can't want some. If you study the economics and the valuation of stocks all over the world, gold stocks all over the world, the dividends you are likely to get is not a maximum of 1%. It let nobody make a mistake and assume say dividend na some big money be never because wakoji 1 billion and now beji 1 billion at 2 no more the dividend you are going to get will be less than 1% or at maximum 1%. The capitalization of this deal is 1 billion. The capitalization of the assets we are looking at current prices is $3.75 billion. So why are you shortchanging Ghana by depressing the value of these assets to get 1 billion and get $10 million every year? If it were your property, would you do that? It is not their property, and they are treating the property as if there's no value. We are talking economics and science and data. I'm sorry, bring data to the conversation. We are not interested in suggesting, say, all we are saying is, say, gold prices right now is hinting almost $2,000, $2,200, about almost $2,400. Mr. Sampai, do you know the number of ounces of gold that this whole Agyapa deal is supposed to do? Because you haven't read it, you don't know. It's 5.5 million ounces. And an ounce of gold, today's price is what? Almost $2,000. One can say your calculation and you know how much you are going to get?
Okay.
So if you take all the development cost and all of that, we are saying, the best the government should do is to extend these negotiations and let everything to be open, extend it maybe by up to April 2021. And that the 4-month period being used in order to do this is too short for something like
this.
Okay,
but Franklin, me percentage breakdown be quickly. The monies allocated to the MDF are disbursed as follows. But follow me, Kakra. 50% to the Office of the Administrator of School Lands, 20% to the Mining Community Development Scheme, 4% to supplement the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, 13% to supplement the Minerals Commission, and then there's another 8%, and then there's another 5%. So per this breakdown, I'm quite emphasizing for my and also after winning now.
Some of them and I think on the surface of it, yes, if you are getting $1 million and you share it according to that formula, Mimi, as I assume, Juma work university, learn economy. So I know these values you are talking.
Hello. Cudjoe. Well, I'm saying, Franklin Cudjoe na homa no. I have to kakra. Yensakani bima. Finally, on percentage breakdown. Mesanso. Okay. Cudjoe, uteminka.
Mitsu nkapa.
Yes. But oyentio. Wala inu breaki kakra.
Those percentages are fine. The issue is that percentage of what value?
But you don't expect say 5%, you know, 5% $1 million, 20% maybe $200 million, and I'll be these are just percentages.
Chief, what we are saying is that let's move from the top, the general to the specific. The general is that say Anton Gold Yikra Maubia, say about $130 million. Into Anumuna Yema 20% to this unit, Office of Administrators, 2 lands, 10% here, 2% here, 1% here. But Nyamu Koyeno, Yabenya less than that money in perpetuity. In fact, at most you get every year will be 10 million. But they'll get 1 billion up front. Until they can do the 1 billion or 500 million they want in a short while, they can do the 20% of all of those for now. But in perpetuity, after 1 year, after you've received this money, because you've mortgaged the thing forever, what it means, they say, instead of getting $130 million every year, no, ubenya 10 million, that's the dividend. So this permutation is based on the dividend after all the niyama we nyina ko check. That's the way we should do the analysis. It's not the fact that 50% will go, 50% of what? 50% of 1 million is nothing. 50% of 10 billion is a lot of money. And so we are saying that the value of the gold we are looking at right now, and people have done this permutation. This is not the first time we started digging gold. I mean, if you ask a miner in the Ashanti region who has not even been to school, he can calculate for you the value of gold right now and tell you that, look, it will depress our value. Do you know that Osha gold exports are? Do you know 2018, 2017, when we said we had banned Galamsey, do you know the amount of gold that was shipped out of this country was more? Who were those accounting for it? It was the Galamseyers, right? So it tells you that they know the value of gold. So to assume, say, you have done something marvelous, we are not even interested in whether Obiak or Yebokrono. We have not even said anybody has stolen anything. What we are saying is that whoever put this deal together, no, what just say, Nitimu Yedin, because Nyamano Yeni Dianintino. I call it a Chimodin, Nibeye, Brono Krabakan. You see, so this is a conversation we are having. The conversation is about the value of the figures. We are not interested in whether you are a 10% back or 50% of what value.
Okay.
You see, 16 CSOs cannot be wrong.
Okay.
These CSOs have been dealing with mineral issues for a very long time.
Okay. Franklin, Mame Nnawotwe na yemfensia yenimse unibresa. Mame Nnawotwe ni yemfensia for a time when you're at the amount.
The release is in your inbox right now. The full release.
Okay. Meko na mako kan release no sesia, but what for Mame Samra ho na fi me Franklin mu release no na me kan chere tie for ne ahwefo.
Franklin num enim nya sanche wiase ni panyina. The sampanti ana o kan asema. Unim dia o kan. Okay? Document no yenya opportunity akan bi no ya kan bi statement a mo kan ye no ya hu bi de MRIF for no so e de aba no ya hu no bi okay we see aban no kwaji $1 billion up front documentation how many years and no am so on the be yes adwuma we must start say 15 years me boa and just statement I no na man no other than say they turn argument to perpetuity. Right? Again, I'm speaking about matters of uncertainty. The been a gold price a cost through. Gold price a cost through this year because of COVID. If you say minerals na kano, oil ni nasifoni nyina affecting gold. And every time, tama Iraqi war no buy any sand nyina no. Who says that time nyina gold prices a cost through. By stabilizer na enuso aba from kakra. Nti sa wo ka ene values are. The possibilities that some basic a chinano ma a change values no and also ho nti se ka we kire wa na che so obi anu de ni titu asoko a wonim hwe e na e ka asem no nyansa no wo mu nyina mitrum nti nyansa no no ode ka na asem no nti se yaso ye make argument na now aban atrase asem no ko parliament sabi enye obi da mu maka tro say ade a motivate wo mo mpom mo di statement ne baaye start kan asem no the point say when we feel senkrofo na eno ani nya wo mo ka mo sem nyina no ono akra hakra no aka okobo safuma fo badi wo afi do say ono kra de ehia no o time to rubbish the process na wo mo de selecting no mebo a no opese hwan na ne adne ye hwan ena no opese adne ye Chief Jerry we a good journalist who host program Adom TV and I'm multimedia can decide say ye penny for crowd aba. Some other company ebe timi abe foul ebi obobe tu aka 5 times what you earning here. Does that make sense? Nipa no ye ne baaye no sebi wabon ana onim ana wo ye ma wo sorry fi wakonya we say so no wabon ana onim.
Of our own say issues, for instance, of say you can say even insurance of Agyapa royalties. Insurance company na ebo ma chi dom kra no nim. There may be a honor I say
eto da bia. How many times no can say you publish papers bia. Yem say ho Ghana da bank and a buying yes transactions now or publishing papers no. Ye kwa marry who publication bi. And now omukoye ba ku omufi take buy no who publication. Even the car President Kufuor ekwaji ya ye
the car power
from who publication bi. No, the car ekwaji ye who publication. Yene China for Sino Hydro you know who publication. Is it a standardized issue? Say be side na. Na so person who insurance na hin e kobisa no. Radio sun ebisa. Ana TV sun ebisa. You have a source. Fund no ho. One management body, one board. So you go there and seek for answers. Ana chief me boa.
Me too.
Se me ba ha na me pese me hu mo production crew. Na me pe producer. Se ni dia me good TV no so na me pe producer. Ehin na me bisa. Enye multimedia. Do I go stand somewhere na me the telephone bisa say who is the producer of Nnawotwe So go to the source. We call no mkaso one more kan kire wa. But I don't also believe say an entity like Agyapa one mother company no baby fufro. Some bears one insurance. So nipa one dealing with huge capital to say. Now because now when a bear that business, when and a bear that business, I'm dealing with billions of dollars. Now me say me insure my company no, and now this project now me no, I wouldn't insure. And now we pay insurance say fee say obi insurance company na yeah na. Na say your insurance company say company no say e ba no kra mpo sa no a onye qualify say obeye sa de no ana. These are the matters. In the say they going fishing. They definitely want to find something wrong with the deal and talk about it. But no more e magana for adwene ayo omo tantanta. Ni have heard the benefits of the benyano. What can have rightly? We have all kinds of no. Or say $10 million, $10 million, $10 million times the number of months now and years no can plus the $1 billion no. So which are you saying? And they will not calculate it. Yeah. And you don't let us bamboozle people say simply no nearby one more could no more no at the end of the year be $10 million and Johnny said your tea and every year benya $150 million. Meanwhile, no, you forget to tell the world to say $1 billion be ever upfront for development. The intention back home, and he said, you hear Sikapudio, Edia year, Ghana year, Meboa. Say, when you $150, a Juma would be yen in $1 billion, be say human no more. Wouldn't say, if you want to construct a dual carriageway from maybe Accra to Kumasi, complete carriageway, now say, wo person ye capos enso de na person ye aflawo de na so benya $150 million no say no na ye wala amhwa wo be ye quarter of these projects. But if you have that money up front definitely no wo kwa koche sika no wo betu anamo akowanim ama bibia akoso ama intentions no meaning from the right up and everything no it's not suggest you say aban e pese omagana for eboka ana ye adia e betia Ghana for. But well, as normal of them, and some people who think like that, you know, there be no assembly bar, yemfa de enye no. Na yemko create bibi se bibi nye, yemfa cancel no. Did you carry that's one of angle too.
Okay, me that say, but fortunately, I'm saying gusu Ora Franklin Cudjoe ewo museum ni so. Ora Cudjoe patro ho.
Me wa pa.
Fantastic. And yeah.
Mami ka bibi kekrebi.
Okay, but when
is some point?
Press release in Saka. I have it here. Me no better to come. Me say kan ha.
Yo, Mati.
Yeah.
Mati.
Yeah.
Near me person me can chair my chief 40 and say any me and me papa. We're also doing our work and they were relying on it. Now I can't be a say I then a kappa or ya Mary and who be beer and who be beer. Now aba na also there una papa. Una the boss. Una the man. Now go back the same thing now. Mr. Sampine, Mpacho and Toasum. I didn't know I was sick. I won't find butchers kelesa. But you see, that's the tragedy of the Brody, tragedy of the commons. What belongs to you, you tend to take care of. Na said near enya odiano, I am unsigned diano. Obia out to me we are just saying that the state or the government has shortchanged the republic in this deal. They should go back to the drawing table and ensure Sesiano. Just 25% of those assets, the same 1 billion that they want. They can get it. Because if they use the public listing approach, it's going to be more making, what's it called? The values will even be depressed. Into your palm choppy. The kind of 500 million and more pesos, and yashi, almost $40 million, a could 500 million. And yashi, almost catch and conform say, yana can so say bois. You purchase 25% of the assets. Now 75% per year and to us.
Okay, but Franklin, this way I will myth for home. Let me just quote it out to you. I say, as the majority shareholder, they will also benefit from the potential capital gains in the shares into perpetuity. Franklin, that's a young release in this one.
Matthias, if you take the dividend, that's why they are trying to balance it. We share the dividend as conversation now. The dividends are low. In fact, a comparable listing market capitalization about $600 million of similar companies. The interesting bit about that also is that capital gains for the bosses that they are looking for is not even realistic. It's not efficient. In any case, we are not even going to get a maximum amount anyway, and it's not properly in normal practice. That's why we are telling them that they should box all of these things together and give us a value. Me land economy as I seen where Juma was investing, KUST. We called the net present value of financial mathematics. We did something called the net present value calculations. It is done. Everybody knows that. Into all assets, the value of the asset today, no. You say, oh, Tom, say, assets are almost say, oh, Kitamu, say 25 years and not 30 years. Mr. Sampan, it's not 50. The 15 years they are talking about is the period they believe they can recoup a lot of money. But the deal is in perpetuity. But that's why the Attorney General can say, oh, and the Munkramunya 30 years pay and share. Because perpetuity they are in Yakra. But the deal as it stands is in perpetuity, by the way. Now, Nyentina make us say, yeah, land economy, no. But yet me value land. We are able to tell the estimate value of me say valuation. I didn't pursue it per se, but I can tell you, Chief, if I come to your house right now, the basic valuation I did in land economy, I can tell you the value of your house. I can tell you the value of lands in most parts of this country.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because we trade, we do that, and everybody who has to do asset valuation learn basic financial mathematics. So they should just tell us how much you are going to. The capital valuation of the assets. They've not told you.
No.
They're only telling you.
Franklin, for some time. Is it that difficult? Say the capital valuation. Senior Franklin or suggesting. Acquire the as a Ghana for
there be obi abisana. We one more explanation on the buy. Once you media or moody. Listen, no crano or munye. Into then a whole documentations you publicize. Apart from that, a parliament a transfer issue. Say, Sikasem be a nurse and food for be one. And a medical can have, what baby Akobisa. So I'll call baby no because say, oh my, so far, one my that argument, Obia man, my country say, me call point A and now point Z. Some may put this information a young farmer. Obian kind. Into then speculate. So go to the source. Na kobisa, the finance ministry na bekwa kobisa. Saving Parliament na be akobisa. So fund no ho na be akobisa. It is maka say apart from the management of the fund, we also have board na for no womo ebetimi ayi nsema no ama no. It is also nipa kwekwe no womo put documentation together no. Wo bisa no womo ka kire say yenka bibia nkyerɛ. The miss pine major to say womo nye ni ye. But say won ko ho enkobisa na say wo speculate. Now putting it there. Right? Maybe a communication. Minimum as someone who can't turn from a more a big generator amount.
Okay, so then maybe Franklin, you've not sought for information. More contrary information.
What told me?
Me too. Hello, Franklin. Hello, Franklin. Okay. Well, into offer now no
yeah, into one call parliament no information na a fatani there to they put it there because a danger ma one would call discussion or parliament and say no more pass it.
Okay, I'm saying Franklin I'm back. My main say Mr. Bitimi akana. Franklin what think ka?
Me pacho I wait I did we anya pampam store still on the stock exchange a public activity. You don't wait for anybody to come and ask you for documents because you the tax savings. It was found out that most of
I'm saying Franklin network no. But what in your can say we
Enya store. Yes.
Will be maybe some information and so.
Obinka say a buja.
Say boni bi anta ekira e say information no e da montene will be etimi ehunu.
Aban
then I make Panama Papers here by
yes.
Panama Papers here by one of the challenges states had was that companies will list, then they will share small information. They will not share the rest of information. So stockholders lost a lot of value. They lost money. Okay, one of the reasons that the financial crisis occurred was because bankers were keeping value and all away from shareholders. See, this is a public listed activity. It is not a private enterprise. You publish this. In fact, there's not a single publication since this thing started on the Finance Ministry's website. You don't. So every shareholder who wants to buy shares must now come to the Finance Ministry and ask, who say insurance you respond to each and every one of them. No, you don't do that for a public listed company. Nobody does that.
Okay, Chief, over.
Deal ya kan da ben na idim enam say until said deal no nyina be cool no wontumi nko tro honsem even in the selection of Agyapa right beginning now we kan nyina na obi expect say be mad narrative a publicize no when di na nke de be ho
okay but offer
na me ba wo wi a entities say war deal no nyina ya bo mu din no they are known entities. And if even you want information, and then there are more science here, technology here, you can easily sit behind your console and Google and find out about Japan or more Jersey, you can get every single detail. So you're a credible entity, right? It is a Yabania Bekanisanoa. At least, because we won't make it that effort. Into your narrative, now two beshemu. And then I'm saying I also did communication. The moment I will be two beshemu without making an effort, no motivation in India. Again, now seek so binya because me and I make a seven and I may idea no. Meko kwakuwa maho akusia ho. Se me kona we say nyina nimu a. Numa hu say ananso pom wajimbi meko akusia ama kwaku bibi se munya ni se miahwe. Se ye kasa yenye ni wa asema yesom. Because we hear no response from the buyer, and fund for the response from the buyer. They are telling us about information from the parliament. And with the public document, woman never both MPP and DC parliamentarians take part. Local hands at Numa, Ubenya Sahani Manina, Ukokobisa, the clerk of parliament. Definitely no Benya documents.
Okay, but Mr. Franklin,
should it be a matter?
Mr. Franklin, this specific question. Franklin, a minimum de Sardini, total. The him bauxite dealer during the former government. Nanka a buying person woman no edisha Ura Ibrahim Mahama and sir. You bet me that to Franklin Cudjoe.
In many respects, yes. Why not? Because Osha, basically we talk about the openness of the transaction. Yeah. That's all everybody is asking for. The issue really is that all these challenges that the ministry is having and the MIF is having, they could have avoided it if they had had an open conversation about almost everything, not giving it to us in thoughts. Yenya fango kromanomu. Okay, say we had to go to Norway. We did public road shows, and no po yakasai 1.5 billion Ghana cedis is not accountable for. Even though we've come this far, when we did oil, publish what you pay, transparency, PRMA, Public Petroleum Revenue Management Act. I want no more down finching say yewe, and no pono 1.5 billion yakasai. So it is not to suggest that people would definitely are going to steal or anything. It is not for any reason why, it is not for nothing that we have all these conversations about openness in the first place. The fact of the matter is public money. You see, the difference we must establish clearly. If it's a private entity, then that's the problem. So when Mr. Ibrahim Mahama was being taught to, even though some of us believe he's very qualified because he's been doing mining for a very long time, it was clear that the process was not proper. And we all said that it was not open, right? And we disagreed with him, even though some of us believed he was qualified and had the money to do it. In fact, Ibrahim has the most important data on bauxite mining in this country. No, not even the government has that data. But he's been doing this for several years. But even there, we quarreled with the process, you see. So we cannot just sit down and say, and because this is happening, we should just sit down and say that they have the answer. They know, so we should allow them to do whatever they want. It's not fair. But it has.
Okay. Frank, let's our time now. So. Okay, but that's it. Fantastic. I mean, great having you on the show, Frank. But now, you better be enough film press release, you know, that you can and come. So as and when it happens, you know, you're friend, you know what you can and come. Hopefully on Monday, I will just send them. That's it, Franklin.
No problem. That's
it. We talk about openness. Idea parliament, not committee bio anymore, not office of the speaker, the chamber for open discussions. Opacity ben what we say. A DNA a suma womb. Document in Yina Koda Parliament. Questions and some bisa, answers some information, more unnecessary information they share with Parliament. Yet 275 MPs or more representing Yina. Inti asemna Koda or Manimuno, Ubiara and Wupi. Inti a dear chese ubi the assembly SC. Dinamka say, if you start going fishing, asemno, who can have a and so quanima. Na fe okọ ha kofa we ha na kofa we ha na kofa na so wunyu kente no ansa na watime nyantoma no that enye sa na ye oman.
But on this issue of kwanya edin asase royalties no cross sign e ma fe mu ho afia babeda na Agyapa royalties because nipa bi e share I don't know but what is her argument, you know?
Mati argument ni bi what a medical can say in initial stages no kra no o mi madam fulari Dogwe mi ni din ko boy je bibia o start church on na bi on Facebook wo hwe any some publication be papers bi said the assassin royalties they start here any obi radio station na wo mo link no a me no as obi a I'm into governance and all that. Yes. And I'm to say my sustainable development and planning in Asifo no na me hu say e be better say we be the couple and some no we be TB a free bi did the best. And it's a bianca besisa edino na wo mo madwunu mu be ye wo kese no because e wonim say obi she atare no ye broni bi na wuni no na obobo no she messages na atwo ne din na se wuni no pe e be confuse bi a sa player no na e bobo no if you say odinidin no ene na kala no e ben nti the moment I dey adwunu bi tie ye kire Estati because right after na eba nyina no enkrofo bi ebusuya bi pese omu wia Ghana sika omu fa Ghana Agyapa de nyina. That is how it started. Ase ka no kra mo bi ahunu sana sam na hyase Eyem yase mi nua Taylor bi eni ha. On the no parliament o. Kobe so ba ne nkoka ensem ne se de siteni. Sana asem ne hyase ankrofo bi om de om abusuam pese obefa Ghana asem. Simply because radio be din eben asase royalties. One more change, there have been change of company names all over the world. I'm multimis into Wopa say Ebia directors in Asifo and now we say Wunima, you ask for those things. Then you can go further. Near Bisa, one more you're fit to be directors now. One more you compromise in any way now. One more you compromise in any way now. They are important in so they said. This entity I can and yes, sebi both the muka entity bio or mine one kasa and achichre. Adiana ye no and yet say me fan say na do the 8 years we are na company no any the omukano na echo. Okay. Political party bi obeba aban bi obeba beto asubia no possessi or unsa company no. Okay. For of mine Ghana.
For 18 minutes after 9, you so ever Nnawotwe o share your Adom TV sound so and Kasempa 94.7 FM. Ma men kind mo Facebook comments ne kakra na fe yentwa ye ho Emra Anthony Amuzu also share live. I say MPP and Nanado 419 ono ne dia or de eba ye no. Baba Nicholas Atanga o message comment in there. Minyin bi se betimi akan e wo dwumade no so Amisco Spelele Kaswa I say on record the MPP government has performed better and the development projects under Nana Bahumia's government are visible to Ghanaians. We promise we deliver. This clearly shows more for Nana to do more. It's non-negotiable. By the way, what accounted for the postponement of NDC's manifesto launch? Still copying MPP's own and also so. Yeah, about for the brain, Facebook, Adom TV, Facebook, and Asempa 94.7 FM, Facebook, Nenjimre, and King Kamba. Now, Chisuni and Komono, Kakao Honma, yeah, they ever trust enough. Yeah, dear phone lines and also the amount. Now, also so the Wajin say, Eddie Abamidin, the Chief J Force in India Humra.